Hey guys, welcome back to Lights Out with Ish and Eve. I'm Ish and this is Eve, and this week we are discussing the weekend that was Silverstone.
Yeah. It was exciting.
Yes.
I loved it, actually.
Yeah.
I loved this weekend's race, and I just feel like there was so many things that progressed, storylines and everything.
Yeah.
And just a lot of nice things that happened.
Yeah, it was just such a good weekend, from start to finish. I feel like there was from the PR day, the media day on Thursday, right up until the race. I feel like
the penalty shots.
There was just so much that happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, the race was incredible.
Yeah.
I think, Crofty or Martin Brundle said at the end, they were like, this was a racer's race.
Yeah.
With all of the changeable conditions, the different strategies, all the overtakes, everything that was going on.
Yeah. I was different strategies.
Oh.
I might sob.
Literally. But the race leaders changing all the time.
Yeah, so many overtakes.
Yeah, it was just
Is it gonna rain? Is it not gonna rain? When's it gonna rain?
I know. It was just such a good race.
Do we put Inters on a million years too early?
Let's not talk about it.
That's what we have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. Should we go through everything chronologically again? I think that was good.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Worked last time. So, Friday, practice.
Yeah. Well, one thing we need to talk about straight away, Oliver Behrman signing.
True.
That feeds into FP1 beautifully.
It does. It does.
So, for anyone that may not have heard, Oliver Behrman has signed on a multi-year deal with Haas. No real surprise there for anybody.
It was kind of coming.
Yeah, but it's really exciting to have a rookie signed.
Yes.
Because that means, Def's going to see someone going.
Yes.
At least one person.
Totally.
Which is, it's exciting to see a rookie, but it's also ooh.
Yeah.
Who does that bump out?
Totally.
From somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and I think as well, it was really interesting watching FP1 because Ollie was kind of the only rookie that did well.
Yeah.
He's clearly
a league
above.
To be fair, he has had more experience in an F1 car.
That's true.
That was Franco Colapinto's first time ever in an FP1, so potentially his first time ever in an F1 car. So
yes.
I think that that has nothing to do with it. And they did say as well, Hadjar was doing a lot of testing for Red Bull, so to not take his time.
Yeah.
He also won the F2 race.
He did.
So
yes.
And Kimi won the sprint.
Yeah, I did
from
see
pole.
that. I did see that.
So Kimi Antonelli.
Toto will be.
Well, Kimi heard that the Mercedes was maybe considering Carlos again. He said, "What about me?" Yeah. I think not, sir.
So true.
Hello.
Yeah.
But yeah. Who do you think will be his teammate at Haas? Sorry.
No, that's okay. I think it may be Esty Bestie.
I think they should keep K-Mag. I don't know if that's a hot take. Esteban Ocon is just a proven bad teammate. And when you've got a rookie, I feel like you have to have someone that will
an
help
older,
them.
wiser,
yes, Esteban,
mentor.
he's experienced, he has that, but I just feel like he's never been a good teammate.
Yeah.
So to put him with a rookie, I don't know about that dynamic. I feel like he might just try and walk all over him and not help him.
Yeah.
And be their number one driver, which he would want to be.
Look, I agree with you.
Yeah. I agree with you that it's probably tilting that way. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yes. I agree with your logic, but I think that's what's going to happen.
And I know that K-Mag's K-Mag, but I feel like K-Mag's also towards the end of his career. I feel like he could be a good mentor.
Let me help you out.
Yeah. A dad. Come on. I'm in.
For real.
Anyway.
I do feel bad for Jack Doohan because it seems
God.
every time he gets in the car for FP1,
something
happens and he can't drive.
Oh, in Montreal, he drove one lap. And then they were no, we're saving the tyres, which was fair.
For real.
But then, He got in Gasly's car and it was fucked up. It was broken.
I know.
Oh, I
felt really
so
bad for him.
And
then Isaac's like £20,000 fine or whatever.
Yes, but that was bad.
It was bad.
I felt so sorry for him.
I know, he would have been...
He would have been like
so
distraught.
stressed. Yeah. But...
And like Lando did well not to actually like run up the back of him. It was Lando.
Oh.
Yeah. He wasn't
Yeah.
happy. But that's kind of valid. Also, Jack Doohan got like madly impeded when he was finally doing a flying lap. There was Lance Stroll was doing Lance Stroll things. He did it to someone else as well. Stroll was strolling, quite
Standard.
literally across the track, just loitering on the racing line.
Typical.
I know. And then Oscar had his problem.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no.
No.
He, like crawling back to the pit. He was going so slow. And then it finally cut out in the pit lane. And he was like, well. And he didn't get out of the car either. They just went to him. The McLaren people were like, and he was just there like, like rolling him. I thought that was quite funny.
That was very funny. I feel like FP2, there wasn't much
Not much happened in FP2.
And then FP3, it rained. So obviously,
yeah,
everyone got to have their wet weather practice.
But I only have one note from FP3.
Yes.
Max Verstappen's spin.
Yes.
Only Max Verstappen would spin out, do a perfect 360, and just keep going.
Yep.
Like, he didn't
Standard.
go off the track. I mean, Collie did, but we'll get there. But I was, at that point in time, I was like, fuck off. He literally just said, pirouette, and go.
He was like, you want to see me do a trick?
Yeah. He's like, and spin, and two. And he just continues on. I was like, fuck off.
For real,
It
honestly.
was a little crazy, though.
Yeah.
That's
So-
literally the only note I
Yeah,
have, I think.
for real. That's the only note I had to. So then we got to quali.
Quali was crazy.
Quali was crazy.
Perez is my first quali point,
Yes.
as I'm assuming he is yours.
He is up top for me as well.
Beaching it.
Yeah.
P19.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, which made me like aghast,
Yes.
the commentary.
Yes.
Did you hear this?
No.
Commentary.
I mean, I might have, but...
Yeah. Was like, oh, that's really not good from Perez. Ideally, Red Bull would want him starting 10th to 15th, not 15th to 20th, like so he can try and get points.
Setting realistic expectations for the man.
But I'm like, they don't want him 10th to 15th. He should be in the top 10.
Yes. Realistically, top 5.
Potentially not anymore with like...
Well, yeah, with Mercedes and McLaren,
But,
kind of. But
yeah, he should be well inside the top 10.
absolutely.
Like, their expectations of him just have gone on to the floor. They're like, oh no, he needs to start 10 to 15 so he can try and get some points.
Literally.
Speaking of Perez, Helmut Marko needs to shut up. 1 second he's talking about Daniel Ricciardo's gonna... Oh, we might bring in Liam Lawson. Daniel Ricciardo could be out of the seat. And now he's like, well, we might actually promote him. Like, what? Like, what's going on?
Like, I feel like next week he's just going to be like, and Logan Sargent's going to be driving that.
Yeah, he's replacing Max.
Yeah, like, you should never know what's going to come out of that man's mouth.
I know. So I feel like you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But also, like, the clauses have become public in Perez's contract, which are very interesting.
Yes. I mean, they would have been stupid to not include it.
Oh, of course. We all kind of knew that would be a thing.
Yeah, but Christian Horner kind of, like, confirmed it in that post-quali interview. But, like, I just think they've tried, and I think a lot of people have talked about this, but they've tried, like, defending him and protecting him and saying, like, you know, oh, he's going to be fine, he's going to pick it up, blah, blah, blah. They've tried saying to him, you're going to lose your seat. Nothing has helped. So what is it going to take? Literally next week, he could be 8th. There are 2 drivers. I think it's George and Lewis.
Yeah. And George, the only reason George didn't overtake him is because he had... We'll get there.
Yeah,
He DNF'd.
DNF'd, yeah.
Which was not his fault. George would have 100% overtaken Perez if he didn't DNF. Like, him and Oscar were within, like, 6 or 7 points of Perez. So, like, very easily cleared him.
Totally. So it is so plausible that by the next race, he's 8th.
Yeah. And for anyone that hasn't seen this, the clauses that have become public were by the summer break, basically. I think after Spa, he can't be less than 5th in the Drivers' Championship. And as we said, he's currently sitting in 6th, could be 8th.
Yeah.
the other clause was he can't be less than 100 points behind Max in the Drivers' Championship. He's already more than 100 points behind Max in the Drivers' Championship. He's on like 118 and Max I think is on like 252 or something. Oh my God. Like, I don't know an exact number of how many points he is behind, but it's well over 100.
Yeah. And my whole thing is like, you know, we get comments of like, oh, like Perez gets like, you know, judged too harshly and da da da. And like, you know, the car's like built around Max and his driving style. But he is a veteran driver. He's been at so many teams.
It's not like he's been doing bad. It's he did good in that car earlier in the year.
Yeah.
He did good in that car last year at the start. It's not the car.
Yeah.
Well, like obviously to a degree, yes, it is built for Max.
Yeah.
Perez has driven that car well plenty of times. He's won races in that car.
Yeah.
And as you said, he's a veteran driver. He's been around the block with different teams.
Yeah. He should know how to drive around whatever the car's specific requirements are. Like, you've been in F1 long enough.
And like, it's not even like, as I said, like, it's not even like he's just slightly off the pace.
No.
He's so far.
Yeah.
He's so far gone. My question is if they promote Danny Rick.
Yes.
Does Perez then go to RB? Or is he like, and they're going to put in Lawson?
Who knows? I mean, honestly, who knows?
I would love to bring in Lawson. This was what I was wanting the whole time. I was like, I just want all the three of them, like Tsunoda and Ricciardo and Lawson.
Yeah.
And Perez.
Yeah, I mean, like, Perez could go to Audi. He could go to, like...
MCO Beauty, please sponsor me. I use all your products. Sorry. Slay. As if. You can cut that out.
No, I'm
embarrassed now. That was
tag
crazy.
at MCO Beauty.
No, I need to recover. That was so embarrassing. I feel like Sergio Perez. Embarrassed.
That's so funny. I feel like Sergio Perez. Okay. Are you not embarrassed?
But like for real. Sorry, continue your point. I just had to like.
I don't even remember what my point was.
I'm really sorry.
No,
you're
you're
talking
fine.
about like who's gonna drive where. Like, if Perez does get demoted out of that seat, can they still sign Carlos?
Dude, honestly, I'm like, so okay. Sidebar, Carlos.
Yeah.
I feel like I think the Mercedes contract is still definitely a possibility.
100%.
And I think honestly, Red Bull potentially could be too at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's taken so long. Surely he wouldn't just be holding off announcing a contract for no reason.
No,
there's got to be a better offer on the table than Williams and Stake and Alpine. Yeah. Like, there has to be a better offer on the table.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
I just don't want him to go to Alpine because I want Jack Dillon to get a seat.
True.
And also, like, it's Alpine. But Alpine have been, until this weekend, kind of stepping up their game.
I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, segueing back to
the actual weekend.
Perez. I have no clue where he's going to go. So that was Perez and quali.
Max also fucked it off the track in Q1. When did that happen? He went up. That's why he had damage the whole of quali.
Oh my god, true.
Yeah.
He had floor damage. Yes.
He almost got out in Q1.
True. I forgot about that. Yeah, and I don't know if he carried that damage through the rest of the weekend.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he carried it through. Oh, I don't know that he didn't though.
Yeah.
I know obviously he carried it through the rest of quali and it impacted his times.
Yeah, for sure.
He still qualified P4.
Yeah, I know.
Verstappen core.
Just Verstappen things. Yeah. Literally. Ferrari just didn't have the pace. Zhou got into Q2.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Good effort.
So
and both Williams.
That. Yes. Williams did really well.
Yeah.
Like P9 and P12.
Amazing.
Logan being a 10th off Charles, like in Q2.
What's all that about?
I've had enough.
Logan's, we've just yelled about Perez for like the 4th week in a row. But I feel like this is a common theme.
Yes.
But it's shocking every time. I think Logan Sargent has outqualified Perez 7 out of 12 races this year.
He has. Isn't that just
it 7 out of 12 or is it 6?
It's 7. Is that not just the craziest thing? And yet Logan is the one that's likely to lose his seat. Yeah.
Figure that one out.
Speaking of which, actually, James Vowles got interviewed over the weekend and said that it's looking like Logan might get replaced in the summer break. Yeah. So I feel like
He's driving for a seat. He's like, well,
he's driving for a seat for the next 6 months. He's definitely out at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
But it was interesting, I thought, that James
is
Vowles,
so open about it, just being like, yeah. I feel like James Vowles just be like that a little bit.
Yeah.
Q3, Leclerc obviously
Did not make it through.
The thing I hated the most about that is the person that bumped him out was fucking Stroll.
I know.
Like, he just pops up when the most annoying times.
Literally.
I'm like, you're just
Honestly.
like a little pest.
Yeah. Go wait.
Oh wait, get out of here. Shoo.
But Nico qualifying P6.
Phenomenal.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. Like, so good.
So good.
Highest Ferrari powered car.
Bro.
Kind of funny. Also, something I saw after Q1.
God, we really bounced around in this quality.
Yeah, I just saw it and I have to bring it up briefly. Ocon arguing with his team. Did you see that?
No.
He was like arguing with his like team members like out of the car. And I was like, oh,
Yikes.
drive faster, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe there was a problem or like something over the radio that we didn't hear. But
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like,
Oh no.
you're really putting your best foot forward for other teams trying to pick you up, aren't you?
Well, my only other point for quali was that there was a British top 3 lockout
Yes.
at Silverstone, which was such a vibe.
Super cute.
I loved that.
Could Lando have got pole?
Yes.
His last lap was terrible.
Yes.
And we didn't even see it either. It was just like yellow, yellow, yellow. I was like, what is he doing?
I know.
I was like,
It was
where
kinda
are you?
strange.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? Did you put on high fuel? Why would you do that? But something else that I was going to say is like, welcome back to the top 10 for Aston.
True.
Both of them.
So true.
And 8th for Stroll is his best qualifying since 2020.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy, really.
Yeah, since 2020. I was like, 8th, like, you know, it's fair for like Aston to be around there. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense.
The
But
low
since
top 10.
2020 is like, been
Wow.
above. Like, no one's made a mistake and let you through.
Yeah. L.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the British top 3 was super cute.
So good.
The Mercedes front row,
Yeah.
also super cute.
Yes.
And Lando was happy in his post-quali interview.
He was.
I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you happy in an interview since Miami.
It didn't last long, but...
No, I know. And like, I thought he was going to be like dejected again, like being 3rd.
Yeah.
But I think he was just like stoked to be in like the British top 3. I think he was just like
Totally.
vibing and like happy with like George and Lewis and they were just like having a good time. But I was so happy to see him back to being like actually cheerful.
Yeah. I think as well, like, Lando is one of, if not the most popular driver on the grid.
Yeah.
So
Lando
for
of the
him-
day.
Yeah. And for him being like his home race, surely, like the crowd, there was so many like McLaren hats that you
Yeah.
could see in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like that would have obviously rubbed off too.
Yeah, of course.
Just
He's
to,
like
like-
loving the vibes and being like at home and everything.
Yeah. But that was quali.
Yeah.
Should we discuss the race?
We shall discuss the race.
Where to start?
I saw something really cute before anything even started talking about Lando. Did you see his like little cuddle with his mum and dad like before he got in the car?
I did.
That was so cute.
So sweet.
I was like, oh.
Also, his little moment, like, you might have seen this video on, I think, like, the Formula One page posted it. I sent it to you. The one of him with that little kid. It was so sweet. And I was like, damn.
I watched that an extortionate amount of times, that's all I'm going to say. That
I
was
know.
adorable.
So adorable. Whoever at McLaren decided to, like, because there's been a lot of videos of, like, Lando with little kids.
Yeah.
Whoever's
doing
the
that.
social media admin at McLaren
Yeah.
is that's, like,
Shout
coordinating that, you're slaying.
Yeah, literally.
More.
Giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
Gasly.
Yeah, we'll start at the formation lap.
Yeah. Pierre Gasly decided that 50-place grid penalty, qualified P20.
He was having
I don't even know. Did he try in qualifying? He qualified P20 anyway. He was like, doesn't fucking matter. I'm going to be here anyway.
So I actually have an interesting question about
Yeah.
that. It's sort of coming back to quali, and it didn't really end up mattering in the end. But if he'd made it through to Q2 or Q3,
Yeah.
I would have been annoyed.
Totally.
As a driver that got knocked out.
Yeah. Because you don't get the opportunity to improve your position.
Exactly.
But this has happened so many times with, like, obviously that one's kind of different because it was already, like, we already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But with penalties, things being investigated after the session.
Yeah.
And I've heard the commentary talk about this as well. It's like, we need decisions because there are drivers being knocked out and, like, starting 11th that could have the potential to start as high as pole.
Yeah.
Like, probably not going to if they're doing that. But, like,
Still,
you know,
yeah,
the
they could at least bump
opportunity
them.
is there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know what they can really do about it, but it is like a weird
Grey area.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very bizarre.
It is strange.
And it did, like I said, it didn't really end up impacting this one because he was qualified like P20 anyway.
But I feel like it would have been a pretty big talking point potentially if he did make it through.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, moot point.
yeah.
So, obviously the
gearbox
race. Yeah. Once it started, the
Yeah.
race. There wasn't really much to say about the start.
I mean, Lando lost it in like the second corner to
Yeah.
Max. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like the first
Standard.
corner, I think. It was so quick.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a pretty chill race start. There
Yeah.
wasn't much chaos that happened.
Tell you
I
how-
think like
who-
Albon got a little bump, but that was about
from
it.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Who had a great start was Charles.
Yes,
Phenomenal
Charles did have a great start.
Up like 3 places off the start or something. I was like, oh, we're on here.
I know, I was like, great, let's get some solid points. So Ferrari, I could not believe when they pitted Charles for Inters. When I saw him coming into the pits before anyone else, it was immediately like, oh no.
What is going on?
And then I saw the little green wheel and I was like,
You're like,
and it cut to like a shot of the road.
that
And the
thing
road
is
was
bone
just
dry.
dry.
And he was lapping like, what, 8 seconds slower than everyone else when he came back out?
Try like 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was so bad. So
Yeah.
bad. How?
Oh my God.
Stick your hand out.
Yeah. But this is the kind of thing where they always say in the commentary that going onto a wet or a dry tyre is like the driver's choice.
Well, yeah. So I think the
like,
drivers.
for the wet and dry. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Which dry, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But like, they always say that that's the driver's choice because they're only out there. But I'm like, why would Charles want that?
I know.
Like, surely.
Yeah, like I haven't listened to the team radio. I don't know
No.
what conversations they had. But at the end of the day, like, the people on the pit wall have to make a decision. And like, a driver could probably might be telling you, hey, I think we should box for Inters. But as the pit wall, you also need to, at some point, be like, I think it's
No.
maybe a bit too early.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it another lap or two. No one
Yeah.
else is coming in yet. Let's just
Yeah.
hang on a minute. We're Ferrari. Let's maybe not be the first ones to make this decision.
No, they love to be. And Perez was the same, but I feel like Perez was. He's already starting P19.
Yeah.
Bit of a crash test dummy for Max.
Yeah,
To
whereas
see, yeah.
totally. Whereas Charles very much running in the points.
Yeah,
like,
different story.
However, caveat, asterisk,
Yeah.
had it rained earlier, Ferrari would have looked like geniuses.
But this has happened every single time. Where
Totally.
we say, Ferrari fucked it up. But if it went right,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, how many times can we say, but if, and then have it wrong until we go, no, they're actually just wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Because this happened, I think it was the Montreal episode, where like, had it rained.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was really on that hill.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to like burst your bubble, but
Yeah, but Ferrari just really bottled
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
And they weren't the only ones to bottle things.
I understand things I didn't understand before. You know how it feels to have strategy ruin your life.
For real.
We'll get there. But when it started raining,
Yes.
McLaren were on an absolute tear.
So, like, right before it started, when there was the Mercedes and McLaren battle, and they were all interchanging
before
positions.
That, when Lando started to catch back up to Max, I was getting so stressed. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Not again, not again, not again, not again.
I was having, like, actual PTSD. I was so worried. I was like, but Max was like, had his little, like, halo on.
He was like, perfectly
straight. And Lando was like, no. And I was like, oh, Max.
Yes, he's learned.
Also, the FIA did admit that they should have given Max a black and white flag at the first incident of moving under braking in Austria.
Yeah. Well, too little, too late.
They
They
also
also
talk all you want
probably
now.
admitted that they shouldn't have let half the cars through in the safety car in Abu Dhabi 2021, but here we are.
Lewis Hamilton fans are happy right now. Don't
bring
that
up.
Yeah, sorry, the McLaren Mercedes switching around at the front.
Dude, that was so much fun to watch. Like, there was a new race leader every lap.
I was loving
Like,
that.
they
And to
were
have,
all
like,
exchanging fastest laps.
and to, like, have it all happen on the track was
Yes.
super exciting. I was
Because I think
quite
DRS
stressed.
wasn't even enabled either. I think it was like, because I think the rain was like coming in.
I think
Or
it
maybe
got
was, and then
disabled
it's-
like halfway through. Like, I think some of the overtakes happened with
Yeah.
DRS and some without. But I was stressed because the rain was coming down like pretty heavy towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And here's Oscar like hanging it around the outside on Lewis Hamilton in the wet on dry tires. I was like, Oscar, please.
And what a move it was.
Like, he nailed it, but I was so stressed. I was like, Oscar, it's wet. Like, you're off the racing line in a corner
Yeah.
on dry tires. Like, he killed it. He knew what he was doing.
He
But
did.
I was so worried.
For real.
Like, and then, like, when he was, like, on the straight and he, like, went half onto the grass to, like, get the move done, I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, you are playing with fire. And
I
I'm
know.
loving it. After it was done.
Yes,
In the moment,
agreed.
I was like...
And then, so Oscar did really great. And then they had to pit.
The commentary was all over this, but obviously it was going to be difficult with the McLarens half a second apart. The Mercedes were also having the same kind of toss-up, being close behind each other, but they were like 2 seconds down the track at this point.
Yeah.
Oscar could have backed up without hindering Lewis Hamilton, and that's when it's legal.
Yeah.
So he could have backed up and at least saved himself a little bit of time. I mean, he would have lost it there, but like not enough to be over, not enough for it to impact anything.
Yeah.
And McLaren obviously left him out. Mans was running the race.
I know.
But then he had to pit and he came out back in 6th. And that was that done basically for him.
For real. It was
Super
so
upsetting.
bad.
Once McLaren got into 1 and 2, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I literally was cheering. I was like, this is beautiful. What a sight to see. What a sight to behold.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, then.
It just,
Poor
I know.
Os.
Because the thing was, if they double stacked, Oscar might have lost a
Couple of
second or
seconds.
two or whatever, like waiting. But putting him around again,
He lost so much time tiptoeing around the track in wet conditions on dry
he lost
tires.
he was like 20, he was so many seconds ahead.
Yeah.
He lost, I think like 8 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, like trying to get back around to the pit lane without like
Yeah.
fucking it into the barriers because it was wet.
Literally. Like, it was terrible decision making on McLaren's part. And I think they even commented, like, Zach Brown was, like, sticking his hand out from under the pit wall. Like, just make the safe decision of double stacking.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we've talked about Ferrari. We've talked about McLaren.
George is probably the next thing that happened.
Yes.
Poor darling George Russell. That actually, like, put a bit of a knife through my heart.
That was really sad. Like, from pole on your home Grand
know.
Prix. So unfortunate.
And, like, running well, too.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it impacted him before he retired, because he did drop back a fair few places. He lost 3 positions before he retired, and I wonder if the problem had anything to do with that, or if he just got overtaken. Because clearly he got overtaken by Lewis, and the McLarens had pace over the Mercedes. So, like, it could have been either.
Yeah, I think he said he knew, like, about 10 laps before it happened.
Yeah, that something was wrong.
Yeah,
I felt
it might
so
have.
bad for him.
I know. Brutal. But it was so sweet. He, like, got on the radio afterwards and, like, came up to Lewis's car.
He was
at
the first one to
end.
Lewis's car, like, after the race. I saw that. I have that written down as well. I was like, that is adorable. I
So
love
sweet.
George Russell.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm a huge
So
George
sweet.
fan.
But, yeah, I think, like, Mercedes, Mercedes are looking so good.
Yeah.
I think Lewis Hamilton at Silverstone is like a bit of a cheat code. Like,
Totally. Yeah.
he is just, I mean, he has the record now for the most amount of races ever won.
At the same track.
Yeah. But he clearly, him and that track obviously just are
And
a beautiful love
home
story.
race and, yeah.
Yeah, but I think Mercedes are looking really great.
The fact that it was both of them up there and like Lewis
Yeah.
wasn't even on pole. So like it's
Yeah.
clearly the Mercedes is not just Lewis.
Yeah.
But
But those last few laps of the race.
they were insane. So let's go to the second pit stop of the race.
True.
Where you have to take off your inters and now it's deemed dry enough.
Yes.
For anyone that may not have seen, basically, McLaren left Lando out a lap longer than anybody else. Actually, beforehand, they pitted Oscar for his fresh set of mediums. He had fresh mediums, so did Lando. Max didn't have them, Lewis didn't have them.
Yeah.
Max had a fresh hards, Lewis had fresh hards or used softs. I think they both had fresh hards or used softs. Was like the options that they had. McLaren was like a step ahead because they both had a set of fresh mediums.
Yes.
I was like, great.
Which was like the best tyre for them.
Yeah. So they pit Oscar, put him on these fresh mediums. I think like a lap or two before. I think they pitted Oscar when everyone else pitted.
Yes.
So like
and they
the
left
lap
Lando
before.
out a little bit.
Yeah. Fresh mediums. Next lap, because it wasn't that long. If it had been longer, I feel like they would have put Lando on mediums. But they said to Lando basically, you can go on mediums and cover off Max, or you can go on softs and cover off Lewis. Now, obviously, Lando in the car, with the information that he has, he doesn't have the data on what tyre is good. He doesn't know where everybody else is. He just knows, I'm assuming he just hears, do you want to cover off the person behind you or the person that could possibly take the lead of the race from you? Obviously, he's going to say, I want to cover off Lewis. That, like, and this is where it comes to, like, the wet-dry tyre debate. Like, sure, that's the driver's call, but, like, as the McLaren strategy, like, you have to make that call.
Yeah.
You have to be like, no, this is the correct tyre for this point of the race. And it so would have been. So he puts on the softs, they degrade immediately.
And also, he had a bad pit stop.
Oh my God, the Ferrari was in the fucking way.
I don't think it was only that though. I think
he was doing his job.
I think it was more that it was wet
went past
coming
his
into
marks.
it. Yeah, and because it was wet, so like everyone kind of had slow pit stops. But like that meant that it took an extra couple seconds to like get the wheels off, and literally the extra couple seconds it took was what he then was behind Lewis by when he came out.
I know. It was like quite close coming out of the pits. So,
Yeah.
but I think Lewis would have got him anyway, just with the tyres.
Probably,
Like,
but like he would have at
Lewis's-
least had a chance to defend and
yeah.
everything.
And then Max on his hards was just like on an absolute tear.
He was.
I was like, oh dear God.
Well, he was for a minute, and then it just sort of backed off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, he got past Lando
I
eventually.
think it was actually like Lando's tyres degrading more than it was Max on a tear.
Yeah.
Because Lando was like, he pushed his softs too hard too early because Lewis obviously just got ahead. So Lando was probably thinking,
I got to catch it.
I got to catch him and then I can get past him and then I can look after my tyres.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. He did not get past. His tyres started degrading way too early because it was like 12 laps to go. It's like, on a used soft, that's like,
Yeah.
it's a little long. And then, this was the real dagger in the heart. Oscar Piastri, on his fresh set of medium tyres, which Lando could have taken, fastest lap, fastest lap, fastest lap, fastest lap. I was like, you have to be joking. I was like, no.
I know.
And like, good for him, but like, when Lando could have had that fresh set of mediums, that Oscar was lapping faster than everybody else constantly. Like, obviously the slow pit stop was what put him behind Lewis.
Yes.
If he'd had the mediums, when Lewis's tyres started to go, which they did at the end,
Yeah.
he could have been on him.
Totally. And it's sort of like, oh, can you like say that with the benefit of hindsight? But I just think like all weekend the mediums were the best tyre. I feel like for McLaren especially, like the mediums on that car just go, especially at the end of the race.
Yeah, on low fuel on the
just
mediums,
goes
they would have
so
been
well.
like...
So like, I just don't understand the decision making.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, giving Lando the Like,
Yeah.
you have to make that executive call as the strategy team. Like, that is your job to make the right strategy call.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of saying another race Lando could have won.
I know.
Every race, I feel like he could have won.
Yeah.
And he knows it too. He's upset all the time.
I know.
But even like for Oscar this week,
yeah.
like McLaren just fumbled a 1-2.
They really did.
They fumbled a 1-2. They didn't even fumble a win.
No, they absolutely fumbled a 1-2.
Yeah. Which is hella upsetting.
I know.
But that aside, 2 Mercedes wins in a row.
Amazing.
Kind of. I mean, last week was,
Yeah.
as we've spoken about,
I
he was there
know.
to pick up the pieces. But
But it was just so good
I
to see
did.
Lewis win
Yeah.
Silverstone.
I mean, I did love to see that. Like, it was poetic, really.
It was like a little fairy tale moment. Like, you know, they kept saying the 950 something days
Since
since
he's won a
his
race.
last win,
Yeah.
and like, you know, him getting the flag at the end,
and like
driving
his
around
last
with it.
home race with Mercedes, and like
Yeah, it
all
was
of this
just
sort of
beautiful.
thing, and like him being so emotional.
Oh.
I was like, oh my god.
For real, I was like, who was cutting onions? No,
I was too upset about the McLaren fumble, but I could appreciate the moment.
Yes,
But yeah, super interesting. 6th race winner this week. This
Whoa.
year. 6th race winner. And also, it broke a streak of 2 years where back-to-back races weren't won by Max.
Interesting.
It's been 2 years since Max hasn't won back-to-back races. So any race that he hasn't won,
Yeah.
he's won the next one.
Yeah. Right.
So another little downfall of Red Bull sprinkle in there.
Cute.
But
Was that your useless stat?
That was not.
Oh.
But
Should we go into it, or do
Segue.
you have anything else to say about the race?
I do.
Yes.
Not about the race. A couple of little things.
Yes.
McLaren is 7 points behind Ferrari in the constructors.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I love that. Should have been more.
Yeah, I was gonna say they bottled it.
Yeah. But Lando and Max having a little giggle in the cool down room.
Yeah.
They're clearly fine. For
Yeah.
anyone that was wondering.
That cool down room felt a little bit awkward.
Yeah, it
Like
did.
once Lewis got in there, I was a bit like.
And like they went quiet. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
And Max like shifted his chair over. Did you notice?
Yeah,
that?
I was like, where are you going? One more thing, Bono on the podium with Lewis.
Oh, that was
Loved that.
so sweet. So
Loved
sweet.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cute. Do you want to share your useless stat first?
Yeah. The last time that there was a British top 3 in the qualifying grid, did you hear this?
No.
Okay, great. The last time that there was a British top 3 in the qualifying grid, do you want to have a guess at what year it was?
Like the 80s? 60s.
68.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, and Graham Hill, and it was in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy, given the amount of British drivers.
Yeah,
Wow. Interesting.
so that's what I had. I'm very excited to hear yours.
Yeah, I did research for my useless stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, wow, that sounded really aggressive, actually.
Okay.
My useless stat has nothing to do with Silverstone at all, but
okay.
I thought it was
Yeah.
very interesting. So, Martin Brundle, our lovely Sky Sports commentator,
Grid walking.
Stormzy interviewer. Did you
That's
see
so
that?
funny.
So, obviously, previous F1 driver. He is the driver who went the most amount of races without a pole position, win, or fastest lap.
Are you real?
He went his whole career, 158 races. He never won, never got a pole position, and never got fastest lap.
God. It's giving Nico Hulkenberg.
So, yeah, literally. Like, so mid.
Yeah. He's a great commentator though. He's found his calling.
He has.
He's found his calling. You know, if you can't do it on the track,
Yeah.
talk about the people that can. Us.
True.
I've never tried. We have to go karting.
We do. That would be fun.
I really want to go. Should we get into our awards?
We should get into our awards. Biggest dub. Who did you have?
Lewis.
Yep.
Also Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you kidding? Logan Sargent.
I know.
He's driving like he knows the quicker he can get out of that car, the quicker he can get out of a Union Jack. He can go back to 4th of July.
That was so funny. The
Like-
fact that Williams decided on the 4th of July weekend. I mean, obviously it
Nothing
was the
to
home
do with
race.
that, yeah.
No, but just the fact that it
Kind of
coincided.
funny. All the Americans were so pressed.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're making him. I'm like, well, he drives for an English team.
Yeah.
They're not going to schedule Silverstone around the 4th of July.
No. But yes, I agree. Nico also.
Yes.
Like back-to-back 6th place.
Yeah.
Hello.
Super
Nailing
good.
it.
Absolutely killing it.
And I also had Max.
Yeah.
Because, like, to kind of come back from where he was, it was maybe looking like he might get 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
And
He even said that too.
yeah, and then to still increase your lead in the championship.
Good
Crazy.
effort.
So-
Really, really good effort.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was mine. Biggest L.
McLaren.
Yep. They were my number 1 too.
We've spoken about that, but they absolutely fumbled it.
Yeah.
Also George.
Yep. Also George and also Charles.
Yeah, I have Charles again. Also Pierre.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like not talked about that much because like wasn't even there.
But yes,
God.
there were a number of L's.
But I think McLaren and George,
Yes, for real.
like, God.
Yeah. Biggest meme. I have a few.
Really? I
Yes.
only have one because I didn't find that many memes over this weekend.
Mine are less memes.
Just, like,
well,
funny
some are
things
memes
that
and just,
happened.
yeah, some are funny.
That's what like mine is, and then I have like an honourable mention.
Alright.
Is FP1 Carlos saying Carlando?
Yes.
That was so cute.
That was
And
cute.
him being like, haha. So for anyone that didn't see, was it raining? Or like a little bit of
Yeah, I think
wet?
the rain was just
And
starting
it was
to come
the
down
very
right at
end
the
of FP1, and Carlos was out on the track, and he was like, "Oh, is anyone else out?" And they were like, "Oh, just Lando," and he was like, "Ha, Carlando." I was like, "Yes! Oh my god, that's so funny!" Like, look at him just joking about their little like duo name
I
together.
know.
I was like, anyone that says that's dead is kidding themselves. Like, that's so funny.
I know. I love that. One of mine was in quali when obviously Perez was beached in the gravel and it cut to Christian Horner just like shaking his head.
And then it cut to Daniel Ricciardo's
Yeah.
garage. That was funny.
Just the iconic TV direction continues. And also, Christian Horner would have known that the camera was on him. Like, your guys in the gravel.
Of course, it's showing you.
Yeah. Like, that head shake was purposeful.
For the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was quite funny.
And like, Christian Horner just would do that.
Yeah.
He would.
Yeah. What was your honourable mention?
Honourable mention, I don't know if you saw this. Did you end up watching FP3?
Yes.
Yeah. The RB mechanic in the, like, cuddling the tyres. Obviously, because it's warm and it was, like, pissing rain. So this RB mechanic's got his arm around the tyres. He's, like, resting his head on it and he's, like, stroking it. He's, like, just cuddling with this, like, tyres in blankets. I was like,
No.
I was like,
Cute.
like, you need a girlfriend. I was like, you know what?
That's funny.
Hilarious.
One of my other ones was, this one was an actual meme that I saw going around, and it was that, like, war vet, like, PTSD flashback of, like, Mercedes 1-2. Like, after quali, obviously, because Mercedes qualified 1 and 2. And obviously in the Lewis Hamilton era, there was just, like, years of, like, Lewis and Valtteri,
yeah.
Lewis and Nico, like, all just Mercedes 1-2 all
yeah.
the time. So it was just like this, like,
Yeah, that's funny.
Another one that I had was, well, the few that I had actually were from that soccer sesh.
Oh my god.
That was obviously because like the Euros were going on, but
And
there
it's
was
England.
there was so many fun things that happened like in when that
Gasly and
happened.
Ocon.
That was on this. Like, for people that didn't see it, basically, like, they got each like driver duo to like come and like try and score a goal in front of like the big grandstand.
And
with
like
all the
against
people.
each other too, like put one in the
Yeah.
goals and one kicking.
Yeah, but for Alpine, they got them to try to work together to score a goal, and they couldn't do it. And then Crofty on the mic in front of like 400,000 people was like, even when you two try and work together, it doesn't work out.
Pierre's like, fuck you or something. He literally said like, fuck you or fuck off. I was like, Pierre, you're live.
No,
You're not even live on TV. There are hundreds of thousands of people in your eyesight that can hear you. Oh, that was so funny.
So funny.
And Oscar like stretching and warming up to just...
I know. And then, like, Real Madrid needs to sign Carlos Sainz.
That was
that
crazy.
Goal? That was a crazy goal.
For anyone that didn't see, I didn't even know how to explain this, but he like kicked it like behind his own foot.
Yeah.
Like kind of like psyched it out, and it went in like top corner, like just absolutely
phenomenal.
beautiful. I was like, how did you do that?
I know. Don't you just hate, like, athletic people that are
I
just, like,
know.
good at everything?
That's
Anyway.
why I love Oscar. I was like, Oscar's like stretching in his little skinny jeans, fucks it up. I'm like, you are the best. I love you. I'm like, give them an AFL ball.
Yes.
Potentially a different story.
True. Silliest surprise.
Nico qualifying P6 and keeping it,
Yep.
first of all.
That was on my list.
Yeah. Also, Nico Hülkenberg has scored more points in the last 2 races than Perez has scored in the past 6.
That's kind of crazy. How is Red Bull keeping this man?
I feel like this should be... Our whole podcast is like why Red Bull should sack Perez. So I feel like we know why, but that's just that was a silly surprise.
Yeah, wow.
Because that was shocking.
That is so shocking.
Yeah.
My other one was just having a British top 3 lockout at
Yeah.
the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Like, how cool.
My
So
other one
silly.
was like a womp bad silly surprise we've talked about, but Lando going on soft.
Yeah.
That's
That was surprising.
that was
a surprising decision.
yeah. It was also horrifying.
Favorite moment?
Favorite moment. Well, my actual favorite moment was kind of shut on by what happened, but all of the weaving and overtaking of the McLarens to get to the 1-2
Yes.
was
That battle.
like just all of them. Like
Yeah.
for them both, they were running 4th and 5th. For them to both get past 3 cars each on the track, that is 6 overtakes
Crazy.
in the space of a couple of laps that I got to watch my boys slay.
Yeah.
And just absolutely, like, they did that.
Yeah.
They really did that.
They
I
did.
loved watching that. I said earlier, like, it was kind of a little bit terrifying, but I loved that. That
So
was
good
my
to
best
watch.
thing. Also, just, like, the whole scenes of the Lewis win.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Was just seeing Lewis cross the finish line in front of his home crowd, the celebrations afterwards, hearing him on the
emotion.
radio, seeing him like hug his mum and
Oh
dad.
my God, it was so
Like it was
cute.
just I was genuinely tearing up. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
like just so sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
So, obviously, that's a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Your driver of the day.
Well, finally.
That was not Lando.
I know. Finally, Lando was an actual driver of the day.
Yes.
I feel like he had a great drive.
He
Obviously,
did.
Lewis, I definitely think, was deserving of that title. He's on my list.
Yes.
Lando's also on my list. The
Yeah.
past 2 weeks, I've kind of like cooked on the fact that Lando's been driver of the day when potentially he shouldn't have been. But
Yes.
I do think he had a really, really good drive. Obviously, a couple of things went wrong, cost him the win.
Yeah.
Also, Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
They were my 3.
My other one was Max.
Yes.
Just because he drove so well and like him and his team made all the right strategy decisions
Red
at the
Bull
right
did
times.
really well.
Yeah, like
I mean, they
they
had their
nailed
crash test dummy, their guinea pig out there testing what tyre was the right one.
They did, but yeah, I
They
think Max earned that as well.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. He really earned his P2.
yeah. Do you have any other thoughts, comments, things to say about the weekend?
I don't. I think it's, 3 of 3, triple header.
Yeah, we
did
made
that.
it through.
We made it through. All the drivers made it through.
We get a week off now.
We get a week off.
And then we're in Hungary in 2
Hungary.
weeks. The
Yeah.
Hungaroring.
The what?
It's called the Hungaroring.
Oh.
Probably sounds weird in my Australian accent, but Hungaroring. Hungaroring.
Yeah, I didn't know
I am
what you said.
Hungaroring for dinner now.
Yeah, I thought you just like stuttered. And I was like, what? The Hungora ring.
Hungaroring.
Hungoro.
Ro. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, whoa, it's one word.
Hungaroring. Hungaroring is right.
Hungaroring. Yeah. I thought it was like Hungaro ring, like Red Bull ring.
Ring. Yeah.
Like
no. Hungaroring.
Hungaroring. This is my new favorite word. I'm gonna say this all the time.
I was like me and Imola, when like Imola was on and just saying Aqua Minerale like 100 times a day.
Yes. That's another thing with Silverstone. I love when the corners have names. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it makes it so fun.
I know, it really is. But again, another sort of traditional European circuit. Mm-hmm. So again, probably playing to Max and Red Bull's strengths, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, it's been meant to for a while.
It has. Last year in Hungary was the start of, I don't know if you've seen this, but the start of Lando's sort of tradition of breaking Max's trophies on the podium.
I have seen this. Has it happened more than once?
Yeah, it happened a few times last year.
I've only seen the Hungary one, because that's the one where it was like the handmade local ceramicist. Like,
yeah, it happened a couple times. So that was the start of it, which was very funny. And yeah,
that clip is so funny.
I know. But Max has won the last 2 years in a row. But before that, Esti Besti had his maiden win in Hungary.
True.
So
I did know this.
Who even knows what's
Oscar
gonna happen?
Piastri.
Another maiden win.
He will be the next first race winner.
You know, we actually got our Silverstone predictions kind of right.
What did we predict? We said we wanted a British win.
We said we said it'd been great to have a Lando podium, and we would love to see Lewis win.
Wow. I've said this a few times on the podcast. I think you've cut it out a few times too, is me talking about how I'm literally a genius when it comes to predicting things.
Yeah, I can't let your ego get too big.
Well, they just can't know about it. It stays between us. But she's been cutting out me being an actual genius for like...
Yeah. You're making me look bad, so I just have to...
Oh, no, it's fine. The government might come for me.
You're making me look bad because you know more about F1 than I do.
Oh, I thought you meant because you're cutting it out. Is that why you cut it out? She can't look too knowledgeable. I'm cutting it out. No.
So silly. Anyways, I'm very much looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be another good race. We've had race after race of just
bangers. It's been good. F1 is back, everybody.
Yeah, for real. So can't wait.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back after a week off in Hungary. If you liked the video, please do give us a thumbs up and also subscribe so you're the first to know when we upload again, because who would want to miss it?
We have such important things to say.
We do.
We do.
But yeah, drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts over the weekend. And we love comments. We always jump in and reply.
We love having a chat, having a yap.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a nice week off. Don't miss us too much.
Bye.